episode of Horror Stories from the Internet. We're covering a creepypasta called Tails.jar, another SonicPasta, having something to do with Tails, or a Tails pasta, if you wish to call it that, considering what we last covered last episode. This one we're covering is another SonicPasta that is kind of about a strange Sonic fan game someone found on the internet. Our story starts off with the main protag going over how they always adored the Sonic series as a kid, and the only Sonic game they really hated was Sonic 06. Basic bitch. However, things start to become off as soon as the protag begins playing the strange Sonic fan game that we found on GameJolt. This pasta kind of goes straight into what happens in the strange fan game that the main character finds. So let's just get into reading and reviewing this, shall we? I adored Sonic as a kid, even as an adult. The only game in the Sonic franchise I don't like is Sonic 06. So when a game called Tails.jar caught my eye, I was shocked and happy. I downloaded the file and played it. The Sega logo opened the game. Then the Sonic Team logo and a logo that said Strippy Fun Games. It then cut to a picture of Angel Island. The music for the two-player version of Emerald Hill Zone was playing. The camera zoomed in on Angel Island before I could press anything. Mecha Sonic appeared. He was blood red and had tons of spikes growing out of his head. The music turned into Hidden Palace from Sonic 2 when this happened. Tails flew over into Angel Island. The title, Tails.jar, appeared. I pressed G and the game started. It cut to collision chaos. It stated the instructions. Press Q to jump, press Q in mid-air to fly, press Q when flying to gain height, press E when flying to lower height, press W when running to skid, use the arrow keys to run, you press W to look up, and R to crouch, press Q while crouching to spin dash, press R in mid-air to drop dash, and press R when running to roll. I went through the level like normal, then came the boss, a giant bloody caterpillar. I defeated him in 6 blows, however it then cut to Genocide City. Mecha Sonic was there. He pressed a button, and then the power of a with the power of a button, Metal Sonic flew into my face. I defeated him in 8 blows. Mecha Sonic appeared, held up a capsule, and flew away. Meanwhile, it cut to Scrap Brain Act 3. I flew over the whole level with flight power, which surprisingly didn't run out. I cleared the act somehow, and then the whole level was starting to collapse. Before I could push a button, I was teleported with a flash to Wood Zone. SBO, Sally Acorn, and Vector were there. Sonic was there too. He was floating around, surrounded by a blood shield and 2 blue emeralds, nicknamed the Underworld Emeralds in the README, around him. He screamed, and then this happened. Sonic. Tails, help me. Tails. Okay. He jumped on Sonic, and then the shield broke. The emeralds flew to Mecha Sonic, who turned into Devil Mecha Sonic. Only difference is horns and a pitchfork. He teleported me and him to a red version of Chemical Plant. I killed him with 15 blows, and then I was teleported to Spring Yard. Mecha Sonic was there. I killed in 18 blows. I then was teleported to Oil Ocean on the tornado, driven by Sonic. Tails stroke a pose, and there was a text reading the end. The game went to the title screen after that. I still slept well and didn't go paranoid. But then again, I have kept the game and I have made a playthrough of it. If you want to download Tails.jar, go to GameJolt.com oddity/33. So that was Tails.jar. So for this pasta, I really do not like how this pasta went due to the fact on how it kind of had a short intro to the main protag and how it mentions where the main protag found the strange game at the very end of the story. And also another thing, author, I know this might be your first story and stuff, but also don't put in notes that your story is not real. I know how you may fear some people may falsely believe it's real, but believe me, most of those who believes it's real is because they are most likely just some like youngsters around the ages of 13, 12, or 11 or whatever. Don't worry, I mean, I used to be a kid among the age of 13 and used to falsely believe most creepypastas were real and shit, but that was it. And that didn't stop me from liking creepypastas and shit. In fact, funnily enough, creepypastas are one of the reasons I got into horror in the first place. But yeah, as for enough creepypastas are okay. It wasn't that very good. As for this pasta, it wasn't that very good. The pacing was too quick into going in what happens in the game, and plus in what happens in the game itself in this pasta. It's very cliche, and for most of its cliches, it doesn't execute them very well, and winds up just being kind of mediocre at best for me. Just makes the story kind of forgettable for me. Just so much blood and other stuff for no reason, and so many cliches happening in the... Like, the only thing memorable about this creepypasta is the fact that its title is Tails.jar. And I thought the title for it was gonna give me off like vibes that it's gonna be like a creepypasta about like some person finding a .jar file called Tails.jar and basically running it on their computer, and maybe it was like a mod for like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or something, but no, it turns out to be just some weird ass fan game or whatever with the name Tails.jar for whatever reason. But yeah, I will have to say, having cliches in your story doesn't automatically make your story scary and stuff. You have to either not use or barely use any cliches at all, and try to execute said cliches in a different way or unique way, or make it, or like get it to work well done to how the story works and stuff, so that it just like goes along with the story instead of just being there for the sake of trying to be scary or creepy. And yeah, spamming your story with like cliches in order to make your story scary or creepy isn't gonna work. It doesn't make your story creepy and stuff. It just kind of ruins the story for itself and stuff. The pacing of the story, again, was a bit too fast as well. Literally going out with no explanation of how the main character found this weird game randomly on the internet from the start, and only giving an explanation of how they found it at the very end of the story. With our protagonist revealing that they found this pasta randomly on Game Jolt, and that's it. I don't like that. I also really do not like how the dialogue is formatted in this story too. It comes off a bit weird too. But yeah. Overall, this story is a 3 out of 10. Not a good story, but it could have been better. But it also could be assumed that the story was some kid's first attempt at trying to make a good creepypasta, and I hope they keep on writing and improving in the future as they grow up. Well, that's it for this episode of Horror Stories from the Internet. If you have any pastas you want to suggest to me to check out, let me know in the comments below, and check out my forums. And this is Wonder Hellblazer, and I'll see you all next time in the next episodes or so.